Another hot topic that's been coming up a lot in my product owner space is where do we go wrong in product discovery? So I thought I'd give you the top 5 things that I see that lead to failure when you're not doing proper discovery. Now, for those of you who've taken my course before, you know how much I scream about, well, not scream, that's an exaggeration. You know, how much I like to talk about initiation, discovery, delivery, and then release, and how I talk about the importance of discovery. And I think that a lot of people drop the ball on this one. So let's give you 5 areas where we can look at improvement. So here we go. Here's number one: inadequate time for the problem space. So it's a habit to rush to find a solution without deeply understanding the underlying problem. Many times I see organizations just dive in and say, we're going to fix the symptom. And that's good for a short term fix, but it doesn't ever really solve the problem. So our immediate reaction should be to brainstorm what caused the problem instead of just looking for a simple fix. Now, if the sky's falling and it's just absolutely necessary for us to get something out there as a patch, I get it. That's a different breed. But I'm talking about if we have the opportunity if we have the luxury of time and we can leverage time and say, hey, we want to fix this, but we also want to be in a position where we know we're doing the right thing, then please leverage time. Don't get caught not leveraging time, right? So we need to start asking questions like, why are customers experiencing these difficulties? Or how long have these issues persisted? Or how many and what percentage of customers are affected? And what's the cost behind it? If you think about discovery and you say to yourself that discovery is not actual planning, it's exploring and understanding, it's getting to the help me understand stage, it allows you to really get the information that you need so that the plan makes more sense, right? Okay, let's go on to number 2. Discovery solely for estimation purposes. I have seen this so many times where product owners or stakeholders go to product owners and say, I don't even know if we're going to work on this, but I want to figure out about how long it's going to take so I can make a conscious decision. So they give you a set of epics that then you have to break down into stories and you have to provide the information back to stakeholders, validate that everything's good. Then you're focusing on a solution and prediction rather than the details of what the problem is that you're trying to solve. Because a lot of times you just want to get through the cards. And what I can tell you is this is a nightmare. I've seen it happen many times. You shouldn't be just doing discovery so you can do estimation later. That's crazy. But you should be doing discovery to solve the issues so that your estimates are better. So they are aligned, they are tied to each other, but they're not tied in the way that was described. Yeah. Let's go to number 3. Any type of discovery without past evidence. So measuring the impact of the last release is far more challenging than measuring output-focused metrics like velocity or cycle time. Important things are always difficult to measure. I'm going to say that again. Important things are always difficult to measure. In contrast, our time is often consumed by internal meetings, trivial discussions, leaving little and no room for the crucial assessments that really should be happening. In this complex world, how can we afford to ignore the lessons from our past endeavors? They offer a great opportunity for us to identify the real pain points and needs of our customers. In the stable framework, we refer to this as hidden factoring, not making those same mistakes over and over and figuring out what we need to do to pivot or adjust. And I think that's where this is going. If you have discovery, leverage it. Don't sit here and try to figure it out on your own. Ask customers, is this what it's going to take to solve your problems? And don't go with just your idea as a subject matter expert. Let someone validate for you that you're moving in the right direction. Let customers use their product and inquire if what you change solve the problems, right? It's going to give you more authentic evidence and you're going to have better proof in the end that what you built did indeed solve a problem. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Number 4 says discovery for a quarter or more. So this one's interesting. Because we have a limited ability to measure the impact of our deliverables, we often resort to our strength, which falls back on planning. Otherwise, we won't be able to discover for many months ahead. For issues like missing roadmap timelines, customer churn, revenue decreases, declines in NPS scores, planning often takes the blame. Ironically, the response is more planning, simply because it's what we believe we can do best. And it's madness to think that way, right? It's just crazy town. So assumption-based road mapping is not at all discovery. The more you're trying to do this based on how other people feel and what you think they feel, the more mediocrity you're going to have. The more meticulously we plan a solution, the more resistant we become to changing the plan. In today's dynamic landscape, following a rigid plan won't lead to our destination. We must be willing to adapt and respond to changes as we go, or else we're never going to reach the destination. We'll be spinning forever, right? Because we're just strictly trying to follow a plan. And then finally, number 5, separation of responsibilities in discovery and delivery. I talk about this one quite a bit. And I think so many people go to do Agile and they say, delivery is where the money's at. So we need to do delivery. And they put all their marbles in delivery, and delivery is the most expensive part. So they don't bother doing discovery because A, they don't have time, or B, they don't have money. And what they quickly discover, no pun intended, is that was a poor decision. This scenario is common when you have an organization who is velocity driven or points driven or output driven. You need to make sure that you get back around with them and tell them and teach them how to focus on outcome instead of output. The goal should be to crank out the best outcome with as little output as possible. Happy customers, right? But so many organizations just still thrive on output. What is the output? What's the expected output? What are we trying to do? And that's an incorrect way to go about doing things. But you'd be surprised how many organizations still push for that. So you got to understand what discovery really is. And if you're not bringing in the right rock, instead of going and finding a different rock, you need to find out why the first rock wasn't the right rock, if that makes sense. If you've ever been to one of my classes, I'm sure that you've heard that analogy before. So I think that the couple of things that I can make recommendations for, just saying, hey, if you got to do something to fix this, here's a couple of ways to solve it. My first recommendation is make sure you have a clear vision and strategy statement. Use that elevator pitch. Make sure, and it's not as a who, I would like to do what, so that why. This is for our target audience that is suffering or struggling with a major problem. Our product or service is this type of product or service that provides this key benefit or compelling reason to buy it. Unlike a competitor's product or service, ours is different in these ways. That's the one you're looking for. If you can get that vision statement out there, it's going to save you a lot of time and energy because it validates that everything is good to the stakeholders. A second recommendation is spend ample time on the problem space. Don't rush into solutions. Make sure you clearly understand the challenges and problems that the customer's facing. Direct interview questions, follow them around, watch them use your product or service. It's just amazing how much you can solve if you just do the simple things, right? These are easy things to do, and they're going to help you solve a lot of things. Here's the third recommendation. Foster a team that's autonomous. If you want your team to truly own creating value for customers, there's no substitute for a fully cross-functional product team that can crank things out. They do all the work to discover what to build. They actually build. They deliver consistently. They jointly make all the decisions, and they don't rely. They never get caught in groupthink. This is just a powerful, powerful team. They must collaborate with other departments as well, like sales, marketing, and other people, but this team should be empowered to make decisions. If someone makes a decision for this team, they cannot learn and improve. It hinders their path to success. So you need to make sure, and it hinders the product's path to success. So you need to make sure you're allowing for those types of things for the team to become autonomous. And then finally, discover continually. So customer desires and needs are ever going to change. They're always evolving. People always want something different. And that's part of the whole game, right? There's intense market competition. People don't know exactly what they want. And if you regularly engage with the customer to find out what they want, frustrations ensue, expectations change, aspirations for the product are adjusted. Every interaction is going to give you valuable insights, but there's lots of change that comes inside of those insights. So before you decide exactly what you're going to build next, assess what you currently have and the impact of what past decisions had, and leverage those learnings going forward to decide what's going to be best for the next outlet. So before you decide, make sure you understand and leverage the learnings to take care of the history. If you take care of the history, you're going to learn exactly what's going to work and what's not going to work. That's the key to doing it successfully. Okay, well, you know what? That's going to do it. So lots of great information here. I hope that you find this helpful. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at AgileDad.com. We'd love to hear from you. As always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. It's time for the Daily Stand-Up Podcast presented by AgileDad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started.